Hello, Sagittarius. This is Marley with Fawn and Fire Intuitive. I hope you guys are doing awesome. I'm going to be doing 6-month readings for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, and Rising. So if this video doesn't resonate with you, you can check out my videos for your Moon or Rising sign. We're going to just look into the energy of the next 6 months, any advice that might come up for how you can navigate the rapidly changing energy right now so that you can end up in the best place possible for you during this 6-month cycle. And if you guys are looking for a personal reading, my information's in the box below. If you guys are on Instagram, I'm there too, Fawn and Fire Intuitive. That's my dog barking. Of course, it's like midnight, so you'd think he'd finally be quiet. I did pull the oracle cards ahead of time, and then I'm going to use a few different tarot decks to look deeper into it. So your first card is number 43, Transition. The frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence in our lives so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. Then we have Synergy in reverse. Number 41. The frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious and never seen before combinations that result in a new way of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. And that's exactly what's happening right now in our world. Things are changing. This is giving people an opportunity to really examine themselves, their lives, the government, everything. And a lot of people are really setting intention to, see change in the world. But what I'm seeing for you with just the first card, Transition, and then Synergy, it's either that you're going through a phase where you're not sure how everything is going to work out, or you think everything's going to stay exactly the same. Then we have Earth, number 24, in the reverse. So that just confirms what I was saying. And then the first chakra, number 1. The energy of the root chakra supports our sense of safety in a physical world and reminds us to enjoy our physical bodies. And then we have Forgiveness, number 20. The energy of forgiveness strengthens our capacity to let go of unwanted feelings and emotions, okay? This is very interesting. We have the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Nine of Hazards in reverse, and then the Hanged Man. It's almost like Sagittarius, because of what's happening in the world right now, you may kind of just be tempted to rob yourself of things that would make you feel good. You know, you may be tempted to like self-medicate or just do things that get your mind off of what's happening in the world, and possibly like be a little bit stagnant. And it's actually, there's this opportunity with everything kind of turned upside down for you to get a change in perspective and to bring together different aspects of your life maybe that weren't working before. And there are certain like relationship things and maybe past pain that if there's something that has like caused you a lot of anger or robbed you of your creativity, it seems like forgiveness is pretty important in the next 6 months. And I'm sure you've heard it, forgiveness isn't really for the other person, it's for us. I know for me, I went through a period where I just kept, every time I was feeling negative emotions or kind of falling into a victim mentality or placing blame, I would say in my mind, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And it really cleared out a lot of negative energy for me so that I could kind of have a fresh start and have space like in my heart and in my mind to allow new things in. Yeah, we have the Empress, and some of these cards talked about something new being birthed. And then we have the Empress, which can be a Sagittarius, a Taurus or a Libra, but it is about actually creating something, birthing something. It's so interesting. So many of these readings are having a very similar message. Like, it seems like the Empress has been important in a lot of them, being able to birth something new. And it's possible that some of you have kind of been waiting on an opportunity, or you kind of get in your head when you feel inspired to take action and you rob yourself of things that will make you feel really good in the long run. Why? Some of you, it's even possible like during this quarantine, you've had issues with a female figure like a mother, and it's quite possible that it's like here you were like stepping into new phases of life, and then all of this happened and you've had to like go back home or deal with certain like familial things that require forgiveness and like letting go of the past, and that could be really difficult. I know that sometimes we do kind of get called back home to actually be able to see our childhood through a different perspective, and it can be painful. It can bring up a lot, yet when we process it, it really first off helps us see, okay, this is what I went through as a child, and to like actually honor that and accept it, accept maybe that it wasn't right, but also accept where your parents or family members or anybody who could have hurt you in the past, where they were in their journey, and really release it so it doesn't have to hold you back as much. Yeah, then we have the Hermit. This can be a Virgo, but this is about kind of gaining deeper perspective on one facet, one aspect. And it seems like that's what's really happening during this quarantine. You're being encouraged to actually like take a good look at like certain aspects. Maybe things that you used to be able to avoid, like by, going out with friends and having so much to do, being so busy. I mean, I do feel like for some of you, it's been a little bit difficult because all of a sudden you have been faced with certain emotions and feelings and thoughts that maybe you were able to avoid in the past. Yes, then we have the Page of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. Some of you, it's almost like as you have been in a hermit place, there's like this seed raising up in you. It may have been a message that you heard or a thought that you had, or, for some people you could have been friend zoned in a certain situation, but, there is a past message, a past belief, a past seed that you've most likely been waiting on. You've been waiting to see, like, and for some of you too, it could be that during this whole situation, all of a sudden now you're like, well, I've got to wait to see what happens before I know what I want to do. Yeah, and some of you have really been put kind of in a situation where you've been feeling like there's been a lot of anger. There's been a lot of fighting and like a win-lose scenario, like somebody acting in their own best interest and kind of communicating harshly. And it's like you could be feeling really trapped. We have all three of your spirit animal cards came out in the reverse. The beaver spirit, lay a solid foundation, the groundhog spirit, time to let go, and the koala spirit, spirit has a plan. Oh, and we have the womb too, which would go along with the Empress. I don't know, for some of you, this whole situation has really shook up kind of like your faith. And I don't think it's just like what's happening in the world. I think for some of you, there's been some issues with love as well, where you're just like, okay, I don't know what to believe anymore, because everything is feeling really random and there's a lot of different information out there, and it's almost like you're having a hard time getting a solid footing. It's like your mind could be going a lot of different directions and thinking about a lot of different things. And it's almost like with this groundhog in the reverse that you're just putting off dealing with it, putting off facing it. You know, the groundhog, when it sees its own shadow, it goes back into quarantine for 6 more weeks. So it could be, I mean, possibly some of you have faced some situations where it's like, this is not going to work out, you know, and you're feeling like there is no plan, but you're being encouraged with this warrior here to keep fighting, because Spirit does have a plan, and this is an opportunity for a new seed to be planted. If something that you have really hoped for a long time has not come to pass, you know, and it's almost like everything looks barren with that 7 of Pentacles, you know, it's possible too that you're trying to get something from somebody that they literally are bankrupt of. They aren't able to give that to you. And so you are meant to give it to yourself in a way. And tell me about this Queen of Wands. Yeah, we have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So again, it's either talking about, you could be really concerned about your finances, like how are you going to make all of this work together? Or it could be about, like I said, family or a situation with a mother. Page of Swords. The Hermit in reverse. Some of you just can't wait to get out of the house. The Empress again. So we have 3 Empresses, okay? 3 Empresses. Something that is falling apart. It's something to do like around, it's like how you're seeing it. Like you might be seeing it really negative, but whatever is delayed right now, we have the Wheel of Fortune here. It's moving you towards something. It's and then we have the Emperor in reverse. It could be helping you either let go of somebody really controlling, or it's helping you let go of control. Because it's possible certain things in your environment, certain habits, like they haven't been serving you. And it's possible that you've seen it but that you are just kind of like avoiding dealing with it, and you're really being pushed towards dealing with that situation. We have the King of Swords in reverse, so that can be an Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, but the Emperor and the King of Swords in reverse and the Page of Swords in reverse, this is an energy of, there's an abusive aspect to this, a controlling aspect, lies. You know, some of you really could be waiting on communication from somebody and they're not taking action. And there's a part of you right now, whatever you're feeling and going through, you're really being encouraged to actually use your intuition and look towards the future, to actually use this time to kind of look towards the future, look towards your ships coming in, you know, understanding that things are going to get better. Somebody is I mean, it's almost like you're dealing with certain situations around, we have the King of Pentacles in reverse and the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay, for some of you, you may be like, okay, everything's going to work out. Everything's going to be okay. And you are being encouraged to like pay attention. Pay attention. Because you don't want to be caught. You know, it has to do with somebody's career. You may think like everything's going to be fine, or think that you can only go one direction, and something might happen with a job situation that is not very positive. And you're being encouraged, like when you come out, some of you are really being encouraged that when you come out of quarantine to maintain balance, okay? Because some of you could start taking conscious action that you could end up regretting. I do feel something with pregnancy here too, with the three Empresses. We have two Queens of Wands in reverse. The Sun in reverse. Some of you, if you're trying to get pregnant, it might take a little longer than you expect, but ultimately you get your wishes coming true. You could be dealing with a Leo or a health issue. And also, this is something you can have victory over as well. I mean, that is coming out really strong. So I think there is a Sagittarius that needs to hear that you can have like victory if you're trying to get pregnant. But the biggest message coming out for the next 6 months for the collective of Sagittarius is to be cautious. Be cautious when you're making decisions. Like, don't just rush into decisions. Be careful with in regards to finances and even, I haven't felt this for any other reading, but I feel it really strong now, Sagittarius. Be careful with certain social gatherings and stuff. And it's saying, it's like, don't be fearful. It's not about being fearful. It's about consciously making choices that are going to make you victorious, that are going to make you feel good. Somebody is in a controlling relationship here. And it's almost like it really messes with your emotions. And you're really being encouraged to like pay attention to that, because it really does look like if you are in a relationship where you think the person is being manipulative, because we have the Magician in reverse, the Emperor in reverse, then King of Pentacles, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, and the King of Swords, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. And you're really being encouraged to lay down that burden, to stop overlooking the things that this person might be telling you, and to stop waiting for like the marriage or the union, because it's almost like you're being encouraged to dry your tears and step into your Empress power and know that you can have healing, know that you can have victory. And if you felt like someone wasn't choosing you, you choose you. You choose you, because then you have the Sun and the Nine of Cups. Like, you have wishes coming true, okay? So you don't have to settle for somebody who's treating you bad or has a negative energy towards you. And, you know, you are going to be able to start letting down your guard a little bit. Like, if your guard's been up because you feel something, it's not because you aren't good enough. It's because you feel something. You know this energy isn't quite right. And you could have someone coming back asking for forgiveness. And you're just being encouraged not to act off daydream or just like what might feel good for the moment. There's a cycle that kind of needs to be completed, because it's almost like you've worked hard to get balanced again, and you might just be getting there, or you will be getting there, and you don't want to start that whole cycle again. You want to find like a balance right now. Any other messages for Sagittarius? I just feel to pull a few more cards, because it seems, you know, if you feel like you're in a situation it doesn't have a solid foundation, but you don't quite want to let go, I feel like maybe a few of you could be ignoring your intuition and maybe bypassing a little, spiritually bypassing, like, oh, you know, God has a plan, it's going to work out. But the lesson right now might be, you need to transition away from thinking that you need that person in order to do it, or you need outside help in order to do it. There's an energy here where in this life, two people are not working well together, and it's important for you to kind of stand in your power. And for some of you, you could have some childhood stuff that does play into like your beliefs about you making money, and actually healing some of that childhood stuff, or at least acknowledging it and intending to you know, release money blocks. And you can even do this by journaling, like, you know, I am so happy and appreciative. I make $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month. It's like you want to kind of figure out where you believe your worth is limited, and let down those guards and follow the inspired action. Because some of you actually have a lot of wisdom and a lot to offer, but you don't quite know how to wield the sword yet with that Page of Swords in reverse. It's like, you're like, what am I? It's almost like you just don't know how awesome you are, and you're awesome. Yeah, we have the Seven of Wands again. It's like you could possibly still be fighting off like fiery darts from the past and just things people have said about you. And you could have a lot of anger inside that keeps you on guard at times just because you've been hurt. And you could feel a little on guard towards love. Sometimes we do get really attached to people who are either long distance or emotionally unavailable, because deep down, even if we want love, we're a little emotionally unavailable because of all of the hurt that we just automatically go towards kind of, first off, the things that we know are going to make us face it and heal, but also whatever is kind of comfortable from childhood. Oftentimes when we are super attracted to somebody, it will be like a wound recognition, you know? This is good. Now we have the Queen of Wands in the upright finally. You know, yeah, it's really saying like, if you can begin to clear, because if you see there's sage in this Queen of Wands crown, if you can begin to clear that past negative energy, and I'm telling you the Ho'onoponopono worked so well for me to do that, to just start speaking over the people who hurt me the worst, because I did have a difficult childhood and some difficult situations, but I just started speaking, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And I would do that at night as I was falling asleep, and it really cleared a lot of negative energy for me, so that your creative power, instead of feeling you have to be on guard, instead of like looking for like, oh, is that person gonna screw me over, is that gonna happen, is that gonna happen, is, you know, is the world ending, like, instead you start creating quickly with this Knight of Swords here, you start creating your truth. And it's really showing, as you let those walls down, you're really gonna see how much you're worth with this Six of Pentacles here, that you are gonna get financial help. I even did feel for some people debt forgiveness, and it's like your time to finally see what you're worth. And sometimes we reach a place where, you know, sometimes we have to acknowledge like, I was a victim in this situation, and that helps bring healing. But always the next step of healing, we have to let go of the victim mentality so that we can truly stand in our power again and really start to create wealth, start to not overgive or not be knocked down or not be manipulated. But the good news is, in the next 6 months, you are working through this and you're going to see a payoff from it. People are going to see you shining. They're going to see your worth. People will be coming to you. Yeah. Four of Swords, Seven of Swords. You know, it's important to, if you were in a relationship with a narcissist, if you got cheated on, if you had difficult situations with family, those things are still affecting your thoughts. And so sometimes you're seeing certain situations and you're processing them through those thoughts and through those experiences. And it is not necessarily true. It is impacting your vision a little bit. So you're really being encouraged to like just start to recognize that a little, so that you can actually start to get everything you truly deserve. Okay, Sagittarius, I hope this was helpful. I know it took me a little while to get there, because there was just a lot coming out, and it was I wasn't quite expecting that message, but I do hope that whoever that was meant for hears it and it helps. Again, if you're looking for a personal reading, my information's in the box below. If you guys enjoyed this reading, please like, share, or subscribe. That helps the channel out so much. So much love to you guys. Bye.